Alright, what's up YouTube? This is a work update. I'm doing it because why am I doing this? Because I just didn't want the last video to be the one that's posted. So anyways, yesterday went to work. As I was coming through the parking lot, this woman walks up to me. She's the boss's sister. And she says that the guy that sat next to me told her, I guess he was just really upset about the way that I was treated, I guess, the day before yesterday. So he told her, he was saying all these great things about me and, all this. And she was just like, I guess whatever he said to her made her feel really bad. And she was just like, how is everything, And I told her, I was like, actually, I was very upset about it too. But being a new person, it was not my place to say anything, especially if that's, the boss. And then on top of that as well, um, I told her that I did write like in my work journal that I had at home, and that actually I had a hard time sleeping. I told her, I didn't go to sleep until like 4 in the morning, and I wrote down some of my experiences. The ones that she had was not the final version of it, I let her know that I felt like the person was very rude to me. I felt like it was unnecessary. And so I guess a lot of the things that were said, and she was made it very clear that it wasn't the guy that was behind me that came to her, but the guy that sat next to me. And when I was at work on Friday, there was a lot of, okay, the other new person, um, I guess she was trying to maintain neutrality, but the big white guy, he was like really being, like sly rude. But because when I came in, the girl was so nice to me, I tried to, you know, keep my head up, because that person was so nice to me. I was not going to be nasty. Now, had she not been nice to me, I would have just unleashed the fury, you know what I'm saying, and let it be what it was, because it was just, but she had the same thought that I did. She was like, at least such and such was not there today, and I was like, yeah. And then the thing about it, everything was cool until, the end of the day when, I guess, and what's going on here, the dynamics of what's going on here, I think, is that the big white guy, he has a real smart mouth or whatever. And because he's so smart, he's not white, he's Hispanic, but I'm just saying white to say white, but he's white Hispanic. And so he's, I guess what's happening, like, because even when the very first moment, you know what I'm saying, that I came, um, it was like he didn't know there was a competition between me and the other girl. So what he did was, he was trying to, like, boost up the other girls just to make sure, to make it known that that was his preference, And then what happened was when the black guy that works with him was trying to be neutral. And the black guy's not black; he's also Hispanic. But I'm just saying, but just to differentiate in my mind. But then, he was trying to be neutral, but in order to make sure that neutrality didn't exist, he took him to lunch, and guess I gave him a briefing. Then there was another guy that's kind of, so I got a separate, and he tried to. I mean, I guess the white guy that was separate, he wasn't trying to get involved in it, but he saw how, he's being pulled into it. So basically, he was trying to make it known, to let me know that these people are talking crap. You know what I'm saying? So he was being loud about it, like, oh, such and such and such and such, And so, I didn't get involved in it. I didn't say anything, but because it's one of those things where people are saying something on a sly, so you can't really like address it directly, because then it seems like you're hostile, so you can't say anything. So that was the situation I was in, but I didn't say anything. But the guy that sat next to me, I knew what was going on, and he knew that I knew, and I guess he knew that it was an uncomfortable position, so he spoke up. Because if he didn't speak up, basically, how can I say anything, And so at the end of the day, So, anyways, the sly remark, I need to get back to that because that's important. So they're just really trying to discount me, and I haven't said anything. And what happened with the other girl, what she's doing is to make sure that her ground is good. She will claim, this title. Oh, I'm this, and I have this degree and such and such and such. Whereas I was being more humble, and I think part of that humility is out of fear. And the reason that I have that fear is because I know that with the situation that I'm in, that I mean anything can be taken from you. And but we're both in the same situation. Differences but she just openly claimed it, and been forceful in it, and me, I did not. And she was just like, oh, I haven't received official title either, but I made a title for myself, and that's what I need to do. I need to be stronger in that. And I don't and then what ended up happening was, I said, for me, what I said I was going to do was just address the things that I had the issues with. So, and some of it is misunderstanding, and I can't let it run rampant. But what ended up happening was, um, so I talked to the lady because I did end up calling the woman. It was just like a lot of snacks to say, but I ended up calling her because one, the legal things that needed to be taken care of. I need to get permission to have a task delegated for so that we could issue some monies for vendors to be paid and that type of thing, to handle some legal issues. Now, the thing about this is that so I got confirmation to have that done. Then there was a question because um, something was listed as a lost property or whatever like that. And the thing about it was that that property was owned by, I'm not getting into details, but basically it was listed in a fashion that made the accounting section kind of question as to where they were going to bill for this thing. So, I was like, well, the VP said to go ahead and process this. So I'm assuming if the VP requested it to be processed, then that's what needs to be done, But I said, well, I'm new, so let me check with the paralegal. Check with the paralegal. She advised basically the same thing. And I said, well, this is what the paralegal advised as well. But just to be on the safe side, I will contact the VP and have them reconfirm, you know. And the VP reconfirmed. But then, I mean, it was just so many little pieces that go with it. But so it was reconfirmed. But then it was not processed through because by the time the person reconfirmed, it was late in the afternoon, and the person that needed to request and like I said, the lady doesn't like me, so she's gonna put it back on me. But the person that needed to uh, affirm that confirmation, um, I mean, she didn't get it in a timely manner, and they left early. You know what I'm saying, on Friday. So this is gonna be processed on Monday. Then another situation where there were some checks that needed to be cut to do a payoff, and the same thing. Approval received late in the afternoon. Most of the office is gone, so it had to be moved to Monday. And then the clincher of it all is that she called late in the afternoon, or maybe the white guy that I don't know if he doesn't like me or what, but he has his jokes and he's trying to maintain what he wants to maintain with the group. But he calls her and I guess gives a rundown, and he asks to speak to me. I'm just like, why didn't she just call me on my phone? you know so she asked for a rundown, so I just started giving her a rundown. But the way that she barked at me the other day did have an effect on me, because, for instance, where I would give a summary, if I just left a voicemail, left an email or whatever like that, you know, I felt like I had to provide more details, so I was digging, but it wasn't necessary. And then she used that as a way to stop me and be like, "Oh, we'll just have it all together on Monday and provide it." And I was like, "No, I can go through the rest of it." And so the first day that I had it, it was very organized and concise, and I sent a email update of every single thing. And just for my peace of mind, I'm gonna go extra early on Monday and do that again, because I don't appreciate. She was like, "Oh, no, 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 don't do that," and she didn't want me to do that because she wanted to have, quote unquote, like, proof on her end that for her that it wasn't everything was not updated the way it should be, but that's not true. It is, So if nothing's documented, then she can say anything. So that's kind of how it is. But it was just so amazing to me that the owner's sister came up to me. It was so amazing to me, and the person beside me, I think he was kind of mad because I was kind of feeding into it without trying to, because I was being so nice, and I was like, oh, this person is so nice, and oh, and it's just in my nature, you know what I'm saying? And I need to stop doing that, because basically, just like when I was in court before, the judge would tell me, with the PD person, he would tell me, don't nod your head. But I was just so happy to support this person, because all I'm seeing, I'm not seeing a PD. I'm seeing a young person trying to pursue his career, and I'm just like, yeah, that's good, And he's like, don't nod your head, because what I'm doing is supporting and co-signing this person, um, doing what they do, and so I can't. That's just the way that I am. Like, I want to say everything positive about everyone, and it's okay for me to do that. But in the same note, I need to address what's wrong. Like, when that woman called me, I should have told her, look, I didn't even mention this to you, and I'm gonna tell you now. I did not appreciate the way that you treated me the last time that you were here. I felt that it was very unprofessional. In the future, if it's something that you don't understand, then you let me know. And like she said, even when we interview, it's shoulder to shoulder, we're equal. But not even that. But if you're gonna talk to me any kind of way, um, that's not appropriate. But I made a whole like list, of just laundry items, and it just goes on and on. But it even continued on. Like on Friday, there was a situation where, I had a fax that I was sending kind of at the end of the day. How does a company not have a fax machine? That doesn't make sense. How do you not have a fax machine that works? You're telling me the scanner is broken and you can't scan a fax? That doesn't make sense. So everything I do, I need to be independent and do on my own. On top of that, is just, I don't know. I mean, it's just uh, and then, oh, let me tell you, like, the thing about perceptions. So this is the other perception thing. The one thing was, let me tell you the first perception thing. The other guy, and I don't remember who he was. He said he was in county, but he kept saying something about legal. He was just like, oh, so if I have any legal questions, I need to go over on the legal side. And so the thing is that whenever somebody mentions legal, I need to make sure to jump in and open my mouth and say something, so that to make my presence known. That this is, you know, well, that's kind of odd situation, because if that person not asking you, then you're just kind of being belligerent. So how do I manage that? How do I manage that? That's the thing that's interesting about it. How would I manage that? I would just stop everything, do a turn around and listen. And I guess, and then the thing about it was that, like, for the lunch situation, um, the other people in that unit, they all speak Spanish, and I speak a little Spanish too, and so I understand what's going on. But if they're speaking in Spanish, I just kind of do not get involved, because to me that means that they understandably are communicating with each other, or they're not talking to me. But what the other new girl did was, she was just like, oh, I was just gonna ask you, because, and this is like, and this is what I'm saying. She is nice, because this is maybe the second or third time something like this has happened. Like when I couldn't get into the building at first, and I was standing like forever, and there's a camera there. You can see me, buzz me in. But then somebody else is like, oh, well, they don't buzz anybody in until 9 o'clock. But I'm just like, well, who was in control of watching the camera? Because I'm standing there. And I was like, just starting to boil over, because I'm like, if that's true, then why is this girl, why, how did she get in? And she comes in at 8:30, and she's like, oh, I was just about to tell you, I just go up the stairs. Now, to me, that makes her a nice person, because if it was anybody else that was new, that was going through the same thing, they wouldn't say that. They would just stay out of it, because obviously somebody has something against me, and they don't want to get in the middle of that. And they don't want to throw themselves under the bus. But this person, I guess, knows that she's strong enough in who she is, and that's how I have to be. I have to be strong enough in who I am, where I don't need validation by you. This is what it is. This is what happened. Bam, and that's it. That's it. And so I know I have to be prepared because on Monday I know that whatever updates that I give this woman, she's gonna try to come back with something sly and nasty, or try to get me in a situation where I have to kind of, oh, here's the time limit.